Hi guys, Mariah B. Story here again. Today I'm showing you a short video of some very behind the scenes stuff that I do sometimes. When I have a new character, I do these little tests. I call them costume tests, but really it's all sorts of things as well. You see, I'm working very loosely based on real people because this is a commission of a group of archaeologists who they work in social media and public outreach to educate regular people like me on all things archaeology, which I really appreciate. The way that I found these guys is that I wanted to be informed on where archaeology is today for my comic, and it's not all just finding out who dug up what. It's a lot of finding out where the world is in terms of ethics, like archaeology ethics. Like, what do you dig up? When do you dig it up? And who do you involve? Like, you need to ask the locals for permission. Anyway, so these guys are amazing, every single one of them, because they talk about that, they talk about the history of archaeology, because we can't forget where it came from, and also where it's going, which is really hopeful. I love learning new things about history, and I also like to know that my history that I'm looking at is not at the cost of someone's heritage. Yeah, since I got into that kind of thing, listening to these guys, I started noticing that documentaries paint a different picture of what archaeology is, even modern documentaries. So it has really paid off to pay attention to these guys. I actually became like a total fan, an actual nerd. And I reached out because I couldn't help it. I was nerding out and I couldn't keep it to myself, so I commented on a post. And then conversation led to this, because if you have been with me for a minute, you know about my comic Six Petal Pyramid, and it's a modern day story where a girl finds a mummy in an attic, so I had to research it a lot. It's a 10-year-old story, so it's got 10 years of studying and forgetting and looking things back up again behind it. But, what it was lacking, and what it had was 10 years of speculation that mainstream media puts out there, and not a whole lot of the behind the scenes stuff for the archaeology side, which is important because there's an archaeologist in the story and we follow him when he does. So this commission was super fun. It's not actually my first time drawing real people as characters, but it's a little bit more complicated doing it this way. Because they're friends with each other, they have a, what do you call those things? A group chat. And the title of the group chat is Archaeology Avengers. So it started out as a joke, and then they hired me to make a picture from it. So I had to make them look heroic. So I think in the beginning that there was a possibility these guys would all be in spandex, like actual Avenger looking types, and I was like, no, let's not. I was just like, how about I just make y'all look like Lara Croft and Indiana Jones, and you can be heroes with lots of pockets. And they were like, cool, and I was like, yeah, because heroes don't need to wear spandex, because to me, archaeologists are heroes anyway. they're way smarter than me, and they get out and they do stuff. They travel all the time. So with the art process, you see, I do a super loose sketch to get the basics of the person down. I calculated height based on those circles that I did. That's head height. So I'm not even working with real human height. I'm working with hero height. Head height is what comic people use. So Captain America, I've seen him done anywhere from 9 to 13 heads high, which is super tall. A human head is somewhere between 7 and 9 inches tall. So just kind of rounding, I'm 6 heads tall at 5'1". And then the tallest of them is 8 heads high. In my book, Caroline, the main character, is 6 heads high. She's 5'1" as well. So this young woman that I'm finishing up is Amelia Archaeologist, and she is a deaf archaeologist who does video podcasts. They're videos that are in sign language, and they're super informative, and she's so bubbly. And the lady I'm drawing right now, Tosh Archeo, is taller than me, so she's a little bit more than 6 heads high. And Kia is 6'4", he's 8 heads tall. I rounded up for these guys just to keep it simple. So I had to heroes are pretty much stereotyped. Their personalities are bigger than life. So when I was trying to make these guys' outfits, I was researching who they are, what they do, and I tried to make them into, larger than life. Not by a whole lot, not an extreme way, but stereotyped a little bit. Like all the girls, I guess early on somehow got Kim Possible in my head, so their explorers' outfits look a little bit Kim Possible to me. And the dudes were based on Ninja Turtles. The dude's got the leader is Carlton Gover. He got Leonardo, and Connor is fun and adventurous, so he got Raphael. And Mike, the archaeology games dude, documents his hikes and treks. He's been across this country, the United States, documenting. So I was like, maybe he can be the tech guy. Maybe he can be Donatello. And then Ethnocenology, which is David Ian Howe, has a great sense of humor on the podcast. And I was like, he can be Mikey. Depending on the iteration of the Turtles, Mikey is sometimes my favorite. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. Yep. Oh, I also got to draw his dog Strider in the final version. You can see it in the sketch over there on the right. So that was cool. I could have gone way overboard with these designs. Carlton's the one on the far left. He's the leader. I did end up toning his design down a lot because he's pretty weird looking right now. Because I was having to try and find the balance between extreme cartoony and extreme heroic looking, and cool and understated, maybe a little bit more realistic to real life. Anyways, so this is the group, and they're super cool, and I use these designs for the final version, which will be a much longer video, and I hope you stick around for it. Thank you for watching. And to Carlton and all the rest of the Archaeology Avengers, if you're watching, thank you so much for this opportunity and for entrusting me with this commission. It was amazing. So much fun. Thanks again.